Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome to another edition, the AFC North Talk. Today we're ranking the tight ends. Ace couldn't be here, so you're gonna. He sent the video, so you're gonna see that. And also taking super chat. Any questions? Any comments? I know there's some spicy stuff out there. So
let's start. Can we start with this question for the super chats out there? How close to Travis Kelce's neighborhood did Mark Andrews get? I'll just throw that one out there.
All right, now we're not gonna do this, man. Act like one season
we are.
makes you Mark Andrews. All right, let me make you Travis Kelce all of a sudden. Okay, he had a hot album. Look at this straight, Raven fans. Mark Andrews had a hot album last year, his first platinum album, but Travis Kelce got like 6 of them. All right, that don't make him Michael Jackson. All right, that makes him one dude with a hot album. Now we need to see. Mark Andrews drop a couple more hot albums, and we could talk about that being the same. But y'all not about to tell me.
No, I'm saying
man.
It could be a big neighborhood. It might be a big neighborhood. It's a couple streets over, maybe in the same cul-de-sac. I don't know where he is.
Kelce might be in the penthouse, and Mark Andrews might be in the floor below.
Oh, okay.
Not the floor below. They're not on the same property yet.
What? Who's in the floor below?
Who in the floor below? First of all, Travis Kelce has a mansion on a hill that only he lives at. In there, everybody else live in the outskirts of town compared to Travis Kelce. That just is what it is. All right, Mark Andrews is nice, but come on, man.
It is the interesting part of doing this exercise, right? Where we go through and we rank them because it's you do it year to year, so you don't want to do like career stuff because career-wise, it would be the same. We would almost be doing the same rankings every single year. For certain people, yeah. So you kind of have to take in what they did last year, and I think we have to give Mark Andrews some credit. Last year, let's put it this way, Q. Last year he had a Travis Kelce-esque season. It was
cool. It was really good. You know what I mean? But Travis Kelce, look what he did versus the Bills. Like that ain't something that Mark Andrews is doing yet. When it's crunch time and I need 80 yards in 2 seconds, just throw it to Travis Kelce. That's not how Mark Andrews is getting down yet. You know what I mean?
Well, remember, his quarterback couldn't hit him in the flat. So that's one thing just to,
let me ask y'all a question. If Donovan Mitchell scores the same amount of points as LeBron James, does that make Donovan Mitchell as good as LeBron James?
For one game.
No. I'm talking about for a season. If they put it the same points, does that mean it changes anything about who you would want in the playoffs?
No.
Okay. But the other thing you have to think about, he did this also with Lamar missing 5 games, right?
But, and we're going to talk about this because this is another thing I had to take into account. When I do this with tight ends, is I think the quarterback does matter a lot because there's a certain type of quarterback where a tight end is their best friend. And there's, so anyway, I don't want to spoil my list.
Okay. So with that being said, Ace is not here. We'll
so you're telling me, Sonny, that Mark Andrews is going to thrive for Lamar's playing in Miami in a couple of years?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When Huntley takes over,
Mark Andrews is going to be
IR. When Huntley takes over, we're talking about Mark Andrews as the greatest tight end that ever lived.
Buy in on Mark Andrews now. Before
he's going to go for 2,000
while he's limited by Lamar Jackson. Said by
Lamar's too good. Sport. That's right.
I want to know
hold back good tight ends.
Where was this set? Okay. Look, Rex Fortune, shout out to you, man. Thank you for the donation. Kelce is JC, while Andrews is. I'm not gonna read it.
Jack Harlow. Damn.
I don't get that reference. By the way, someone in chat, Sonny, asked why we're skipping wide receiver. And I think we should mention we did not.
We haven't skipped wide receiver.
Well, we did. No, we skipped it. We're not going in the same order we did last year.
Oh, did we? To be fair, I had no idea the order we went last year. I know QB was first last year. Was it running back second?
Yeah, you go
We
Madden
waiting
order,
for
right?
the-
It's Madden depth
Here's the
chart
real
order. is
reason
what
why
I-
we ain't doing wide receiver yet. We're waiting for the Baltimore Ravens to acquire something. That's what.
Yeah, that's right. To be fair, and for everybody, Ace asked you were here, Q.
No,
Ace,
yeah.
Ace said like, "Hey, I think we should do tight end next week," and I said, "You sure?" I think I suggested O line, and he said, "Nah,
Look.
let's do tight end." And I said, "Okay, whatever."
Let me
I mean,
address the
vote-
super chat too. Let me address the super chat too.
Okay,
See,
yeah.
look, what Rex said is absolutely true because there is nothing wrong with being Jack Harlow, right? But Jack Harlow had a couple hot albums. That don't mean he Jay-Z. You know, I mean, there's a body of work that you have to put in to be Jay-Z, and that's all I'm saying. Mark Andrews, your mixtapes was hot. In your studio, that studio album that dropped last year, fire. But I'm gonna need more than one. You know what I mean? Before I could just start putting you up there. You good? Ain't no hate. Mark Andrews is probably like one of the 5 best tight ends in football. But he ain't no damn Travis Kelce now. Let's not act.
so
Ace ain't here to defend you.
I'm gonna say this.
Ace let you down.
Travis Kelce year 4. Mark Andrews had a better year 4 than Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce was either Mark Andrews very young as he came in.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, you can't say that.
Really,
Mark Andrews did not have a better year 1, 2, or 3 than Travis Kelce, though. Like,
Well, year 1 he didn't, but year 2 it is. It's about the
Travis
same.
Kelce had like one of Travis Kelce years 3 years into his career before Mark Andrews had his.
So year 2 for Travis Kelce, because I'm gonna discard his year 1 because he only played a game. I'm assuming he was injured. So year 2, which is his year 3, but his year 2 of playing, he had 875 yards and 5 touchdowns. That was his year 2, 16 games, right?
That was like Mark Andrews' career year up until this year.
No. Mark Andrews year 2.
He had a good year he had a good year the Lamar MVP year.
He had like 800 yards that year.
852, 10 touchdowns. It was more than Travis Kelce year 2.
No, Travis Kelce had 862.
875. Yeah,
875. Travis Kelce had 875. Mark Andrews had 852. Okay, so Travis Kelce had 25 more yards,
but double the touchdowns.
But Mark Andrews had 10 touchdowns,
touchdowns.
And then Travis Kelce had a 5.
And then he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years of 1,000-yard seasons at the tight end position,
so
which is unheard of before Travis Kelce did it.
Yeah, so once he eclipsed 1,000, I agree. Once he eclipsed 1,000
like Travis, people weren't talking about tight ends leading the league in receiving before Travis Kelce was out here doing it. Like that was like he has broken the mold. Like that's all I'm saying is Travis Kelce is different. It is like comparing any wide receiver to Randy Moss.
You know, but when you think about it, if you go back to my theory that tight ends can really they're really only good in which they have bad quarterbacks, and you know he was very good when he had Alex Smith, but it does make you think again about Patrick Mahomes, really how good Patrick Mahomes is when he has to rely on his tight end.
Because he had 1,500 yards.
Yeah, because he relies too much on his tight end, which we all know is the crutch that bad quarterbacks use. So, or young and or bad quarterbacks use. So.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm just pointing it out. You know,
this is one of them Tony takes.
It's a good one. It's gonna be a running theme today, by the way.
This is why
we're only 10 minutes in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Only one man could come up with a take like that.
To be TK. What does TK mean? Now I'm lost.
Travis
TK?
Kelce.
Oh, Travis Kelce. Oh my god, my bad. Like old artist only cares about old stats / song.
Old stats.
No, he's still doing it.
He's still doing it.
Still got
old stats.
No, last year he had 1125. The year before he had 1416. Right.
That's what.
9 and 11 touchdowns.
Insane at tight end.
Yeah, I agree.
He's the Aaron Donald of tight ends. Like he's gonna forever change how we view defensive. Like how Aaron Donald, we ain't never gonna look at another pass rushing defensive tackle the same way because Aaron Donald was just freaky enough to do all of it. We're not gonna look at like a freaky tight end and be like, oh, he's the greatest one in the league unless he has close to Travis Kelce numbers.
By the way, not to derail, but
y'all mad that I didn't call him top 5. Oh my! I put him in top 5, but they're mad. You know he's top 3. Okay, top 3. Still, he's not better than Travis Kelce. Like that's my only point.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So not to derail, because I remember the Ravens fan base wanted to draft this guy Kinlaw, and I was not super in love with Kinlaw. But you saw that video that came out of Kinlaw
with the reporter?
With the reporter?
Yeah,
I didn't see the video. I heard about it, but I didn't see the
Oh.
video.
He said,
Ooh.
well, we can't repeat much of what he said on
We
YouTube.
can't repeat
But he
anything.
basically implied that he has better genetic material to make kids and larger vegetables to hold that genetic material than said reporter. Is the best way I could put it.
Yeah. I mean, it was something, but I guess my point was
then like he yoked him up. Like the dude.
No, this was a reporter that the reporter said something about him, and he was kind of getting.
This reporter is a known.
This is happening all over the league, by the way. This is happening.
So
I heard about this.
If you go on his thing, he basically goes and he like calls Kinlaw names for not being able to be healthy. He makes all these jokes about how his favorite place is the training table. Which, hey, look, if you're not going to be with the team on a day-to-day basis, you can do that. But if you're gonna be out there asking these dudes questions at practice every day, that's really dumb.
I don't know. I see.
There's a reason why Mark Madden doesn't ask questions at press conferences.
Right.
But I get that the Ravens don't have a reporter like that. This is just me, right? Like if you follow me on my channel, I will criticize Lamar when I have to criticize Lamar.
What you talking about, man? Cole Raven's still alive, baby. What you mean?
Like, I'm saying
got him in the streets. What you mean?
Like, this dude has.
That's all dude is Cold Raven with a media pass.
Exactly, but he has a media pass. Right? He goes to the training facility. He goes to the interviews, right? And I feel like, at least for the Ravens insider, they're all like, yeah, Ravens, yeah. I'm like,
doesn't that bother you though?
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah,
well, it's one thing to be critical of the team, right? Because we're all critical of our own teams here.
Yeah.
This dude was not just critical.
Well,
he was antagonistic towards the team. That's a whole different thing, right?
It always bothers me when I know a reporter, like, they have to always take. These guys always have to take the most positive outlook on things because they know that when they get in the locker room, they're going to be face to face with the guy that they just said, like, no, he's not going to make, take the Devin Bush thing, for instance, right? I understand that people like these reporters have to go in and they have to talk to Devin Bush face to face, for the rest of the season here. But like, we can all agree that, the outlook on Devin Bush today is not a positive one. And yet I keep seeing all of these articles written by these guys who are like, it's a prove it season, Flores is going to make him shine and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, look, I understand why they're writing that article, but is that actually how they feel, or are they writing that article because they have to sit across from him? And going back to what I said, I heard this story and I won't name names here, but there was a certain player who approached a reporter and said, hey, why do you think I was going to get cut last year? And like went in and said, like, basically went in on a certain reporter about, you thought I was going to make the team last year, yada, 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 on all of that. Yeah, and I get that
about stuff like that, I would agree would be kind of childish for an NFL player to do and kind of counterproductive. I don't think that's what Javon Kinlaw was really upset about. That there was something else in there that the specific situation is. Okay. Now there are people in every media. I know it's definitely in Cleveland media where like they're not going to print out what's most friendly to the team. They're going to take a critical approach to them. And they're fine getting the media passes and whatever access that they need. And I think that's the case for most of it. But, with the Steelers, it's a special circumstance because they're notoriously closed in on everything, right? Mike Tomlin doesn't give access to, like, he doesn't let you record. Like the Ravens and the Steelers do this, right? Yeah, you can't even record at camp. So like those more closed in environments are going to breed more sycophantic reports just because they're going to do anything to keep access at that point once you do that. Yeah. I think the league needs to step in and tell teams and coaches, you can't go that far with restricting access to what is a publicly funded game almost. So, I think that's where the league needs to step in and make some mandates, because when teams do restrict access and threaten to restrict access off of base of anything, then you don't get good coverage of your team and you get just straight lies to you. And you wonder why people out here telling you that Benny Snell going to get 2,000 yards or something ridiculous this year. It's because everybody got to report BS, propaganda, right, basically, in order to get access. So there is something to be said to Tony's point there. I don't know if it's necessarily is going to be handled by the teams themselves because they just benefit a whole ton from being stingy. It's the league that I think needs to step in to make sure that they do something to ensure that people don't have to worry about the relationship with the team being as positive as it needs to be. To do that. And these situations are rare where a player actually physically does something to a reporter. Yeah. Like the second closest thing is the Baker Mayfield one where he kind of stormed out and said, "Jesus,
Do
Tony."
you think?
Oh yeah.
Since you saw the interview, do you think Kinlaw gets anything from the league?
Nah, it's probably gonna be
No,
like a team
no.
thing. Yeah, it's gonna be a
Okay.
team thing.
Okay. Steelers fan here says, I wonder how the Steelers will do this season.
I wonder if he means look, if you mean in the regular season as far as record, obviously undefeated. I looked at the schedule. I don't see a loss. I'm be honest with you.
Yeah.
As far as this ranking, stay tuned. Stay tuned.
And then we have Super Chef from Professor Chaos says, was wondering where do you look for blocking stats for tight end?
A little something we like to call the all 22.
Yeah, you don't really.
You can't.
You know me.
read
I'm
football.
not going to go on. I'll tell you where I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to a three-letter site and look up blocking grade. I'll tell you that.
You know it, Tony. PFF
I'm not going to go there.
Blocking grade.
Yeah,
And
look,
I think
all I'm saying is you can't always read football. Sometimes you need to watch it. That's for the Twitter generation right there.
And I'm checking here. Does well, I'm not gonna check it live, but I think Pro Football Reference might. They did a good job with stats.
Well, Pro Football Focus has like a blocking grade, but it's like a Wikipedia page. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can't really take your opinion and base it off of that. You have to.
Tony.
Oh yeah, Tony's still an active.
Listen, I'm fine. I'm not.
Hey, you don't want to be here when we rank the Steelers third in pass rushers.
That's fine.
You don't
I said this before the show, so I didn't say. I'm pacifist this summer. I refuse to engage this summer.
You refuse to engage with Pro Football Focus, even
just in any argument. Just in any argument throughout the entire.
TJ Watt's going? Are you going to be one of the people mad or happy with the NFL top 100 based on where TJ Watt is ranked?
I think he's going to be ranked properly in that because I think it's other players.
Top 10, right?
He'll
what did
be.
They put Myles Garrett ahead of him.
They won't put Myles Garrett. There's no way. They didn't put Myles Garrett ahead of him last year.
They were like, look, TJ won the Defensive Player of the Year, but Myles got that dog in him.
If the
players be.
Listen,
you know how
the players look, the players should put Mason Crosby, not Mason Crosby. What's his name? Max Crosby. They should put Max Crosby ahead.
You know what I'm rooting for? You know what I'm rooting for?
Max Crosby is not getting in the top 10 of that list.
You know what I'm rooting for? Hendrickson to be on top of both.
Who?
Hendrickson. Bengals.
No, come on. Ain't nobody put Trey Hendrickson in the top 25.
Hendrickson, by the way, I dug into a lot of the numbers. I already have the whole spreadsheet ready to go for that show. Hendrickson's numbers were really not bad last year. Really.
No.
Really
I'm not saying Trey Hendrickson is a bad player.
Hey.
But this list is voted on by the players. And the people who would like really applaud Trey Hendrickson and think he's a great player are not the people in the NFL. That's not a shade to Trey Hendrickson. It's just that's not how they go vote for him.
Yeah.
It's
the
just
Bengals coaching staff, the fan base. That's who's going to like Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah. The Bengals and people on Twitter that look at advanced stats. And not saying that doesn't mean he's a good player. He's an excellent player. But that ain't what players look for when they make these votes. They look for that dog in them. They look for that athleticism. They look for the shit that you can see. And that's just not what Trey Hendrickson provides a lot of.
So shout out to Rex again. Muff is Baby Keem and Joku is Milo.
Once again, don't get these references. You fill us in.
Milo, I have no idea who Milo is or whoever that
Milo,
was. Forgive me if I'm old. I barely know Baby Keem because he be in them Kendrick songs. I'm an old man. I had throwing these new names at me.
But this is the one that I wanted to hit. This is for Q. Gronk is better than Kelce and Andrew will ever be.
Okay,
there's an argument for Gronk over Kelce.
Gronk over Kelce is where, when you started saying Kelce as the Aaron Donald, I thought, well, the problem is Gronk.
I mean, Rob, the thing with Rob is he's been injured on and off so many times. Like, this is 6 straight years of dominance.
The one
6
thing that
straight years of unheard of dominance. Really 8, if you include the 2 800-yard seasons. His 2 mediocre seasons in there. He's been dominant for almost a decade straight.
But
Rob Gronkowski really broke the mold.
Gronk played with a good quarterback, though. That's the problem. Gronk played with a quarterback who was too good, and that's what drove.
What would Gronk's numbers been like if he would have accepted that trade to Detroit?
That's right. That's what really would have helped him. He could have played with
he messed up his own goal argument.
Stafford, actually. It been Stafford. No, was Stafford traded already?
No. Stafford was there.
Stafford was still there. Yeah.
I mean, this is Gronk. He was still in New England. Brady was
to put this in comparison. Gronk has had 4 over 1,000 yard receiving as a tight end. Kelce has had 6 in a row.
But you
6
know
in
what?
a row.
What will make Gronk
Both
different-
Hall of Famers first ballot, no doubt. But I think you can make
no
an
doubt.
argument that Kelce's a better player.
So what made Gronk? So this is what made Gronk so difficult. Anytime I saw his old 22, especially in New England when he was younger, he was such a good inline blocking. Same thing with the guy from San Francisco.
George Kittle.
Yeah, they're both
This
really
has been
good.
a crazy era for tight ends.
So Kittle is more of a Gronk.
This is wild. These are like 3
Yeah.
guys who would have been legit the best of their era if they did not play with each other. This is going to be like how we look at TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and Aaron Donald all being in the same era at the same time. All 3 of those guys probably would be the best defensive player of their era if they just played in individual eras. But the fact that they all played together, we're going to forget one of them. It's going to be one of them got to be the Drew Brees, and I think that's going to be George Kittle in this whole situation,
Well,
right?
the problem with Kittle doesn't have the necessarily the numbers and yards. Plus, he gets injured too. But what I was gonna bring is Kittle is more of a Gronk, right? Very good inline blocker and really good also on the pass catching side. Andrews is more like Kelce. They are decent blockers, but that's not where they thrive. They thrive more in space and out in the field. So
I also think
the Kansas City Chiefs aren't keeping tight ends in the block. That's not how that system rolls, right?
he does this for now and then.
Maybe his first couple years in the league, they asked him to block. But once Patrick Mahomes got there, the ideal wasn't to block back
I
then.
think
the ideal was to get spread.
Gronk had a couple. I think Gronk is probably a more physical player than Kelce, right? I mean, he was such a bully. I mean, at peak, Gronk was the biggest bully that's ever played at wide receiver or tight end.
And that's
I think the argument more or less is
but Gronk was also super explosive. Look at his yards per catch.
I think the argument is the if you take Robert Gronkowski from the best year of his career and pluck him out, and then you take Travis Kelce from the best year of his career and pluck him out, Rob Gronkowski's the better player.
Yes,
he had the higher peak.
Yes,
but the better career is, I think, it's hard to.
Well, the career, because the injuries derailed it. Yeah,
it's hard to argue.
Look at those first 6 seasons of Gronk. Right, he had double-digit touchdowns in 4 of 5 seasons.
No, absolutely insane. We didn't see no
5 of 6, and the only reason he didn't have it.
That man had 17 touchdowns in 2011.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's absurd.
Isn't that
That's wild at tight end? Oh my god,
that's got to be the record, right? It's got to be the record for tight ends.
That's got to be close.
Got to be.
That's insane. Yeah. Again, we're talking about players here that would generationally be the greatest player of their position for a while. It just so happened that they came right on top of each other. Kittle right after Gronk, and then Kelce was right there too. Just unheard of. And poor Mark Andrews, he would probably be like up there if it weren't for this ridiculous. By the way, ooh man, is he top 3 Raven fans? Now that I think about it, because all these dudes, he's better than Gronk now.
And Kittle, he's better than Kittle too.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Time out.
Yeah, he's better than Kittle right now.
That's debatable. That's debatable.
Kittle.
I don't think we
like
think
right now,
about
career
Mark
for career,
Andrews
or last season. Obviously, last season he was the best tight end in football, right? I mean, just
who, Mark Andrews?
Yeah, last season he was.
I don't know if I would go that far.
Kittle,
you put above him? You would put Kelce above him? The problem
put Kelce above him.
I mean, I could see the argument because some of the struggle that Kelce had was just an emblematic of the entire Chiefs offense, right? And they went through that rut.
But if we take Kelce out, okay, let's just assume Kelce's the best. Right?
Like if you traded Travis Kelce to the Baltimore Ravens for Mark Andrews, do you think the Baltimore Ravens got better? I do.
I think there's going to be.
I would wholeheartedly think they got better.
But look,
there's no doubt in my mind they got better, and that's no shade to Mark Andrews.
Yeah,
it's just that's Travis Kelce, dog.
Okay, but so again, let's concede that Kelce's number 1. Okay, let's just first.
Yeah.
But Kittle the last 2 years, he 634, 910. The problem with Kittle, he gets injured, right?
He got hurt,
last year, and he plays hurt a lot. Not only did he miss his game, he plays hurt a lot. Last year he played better, 910 yards.
Season, I would go with Mark Andrews. For a game, I would go George Kittle.
Okay. Well, by the way, we're almost half an hour in. Let's get this thing
We're
rolling.
making these arguments. About
should we pay bills before we get going?
The argument within the division is not that compelling.
No, the division. Actually, I think Q and I are going to disagree on certain part, but it's close. So
it ain't gonna be that deep.
Predator here says Gronk is an elite blocker, better than those guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Nova Stone
that's
here
true.
says Gronk better career for Super Bowl 5 soon. Versus
Man,
one.
Tom Brady had nothing to do with that,
Oops.
right? Like
No, Tom Brady is he
Tom
was
Brady
just
was carried. Are you saying that, Nova Stone? Wait, Nova Stone. I need to clarify. Are you clarifying that Tom Brady was carried for 4 of those Super Bowl championships and that he doesn't deserve full credit for them? Are we saying Tom Brady carried? Sounds like you saying Tom Brady was carried. Because
Hold on, Gronk was hurt in one of those. He doesn't get one of those rings. He was hurt the whole year.
He was hurt for one of those seasons, and the one of those rings is the one he got at Tampa Bay, and that ain't the same Gronk.
Oh no, wait, no, maybe he was hurt during the Giants season. Was he hurt during the second Giants game?
Nah.
Was he?
I don't think he played in that game.
Wait. They didn't win any when they had the dude who murdered people on the team with.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And then 2017 was he still on the team for that one against the?
Yeah. He was on the team for every one they won. But the question is, was he healthy the year that they lost to the Giants, or was it the Eagles year that he was hurt? No, he played.
They lost to the Giants in 2012. I don't even know if he was on the roster.
The Rams game, he was healthy. They won that one. Yeah. Falcons, was he healthy that year?
Yeah, he was healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, I don't remember.
This is the problem with Gronk, and why you can't say he had a big
This is the problem with
because
Gronk.
we don't know.
Okay, before we go with Ace, Tony, let's pay some bills.
Oh, let's do it. Got to tell you about our friends over at Manscaped. There's a certain confidence that comes with being properly groomed. There's an aura, a vibe. You can tell by the way they carry themselves. We call it BGE, Big Groomed Energy. And there's only one way to get that BGE, our friends at Manscaped. We'd like to introduce you to their best and biggest ultimate hygiene bundle yet, the Platinum Package 4.0. Manscaped is the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off and free shipping, but you got to use our promo code AFC North Talk. That's AFC North Talk, all one word. Manscaped's brand new Platinum Package 4.0 is the biggest bundle they've ever offered, giving you a bulk discount on Manscaped's top products. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. They designed this package to allow you to fully align your entire hygiene routine with elite products. Inside the Platinum Package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Ultra Premium Body Wash, the Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, the Ultra Premium deodorant, the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Spray and Toner, the Anti-Chafing Boxers, and the Shed Travel Bags to hold your goods while traveling. That's an insane deal. You get all that in the Platinum Package. Of course, the Lawnmower 4.0 is a body trimmer. The Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer they both feature that proprietary advanced skin-safe technology to protect your delicate parts and holes. Both are waterproof, so you can shave with less mess. And in addition to shaving, you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. You'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Don't forget to apply the aluminum-free Ultra Premium deodorant for that cologne quality scent on the go. But it's not just your pits that stink. Your balls can stink too. And thankfully, they have the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. They can both solve that problem for you. Of course, you also get the boxers, which are fantastic. You also get the Shed Travel Bag. You get all that in the Platinum Package 4.0. And you can get it for 20% off and free shipping by using our promo code AFC North Talk. That's AFC North Talk at manscaped.com.
Okay, and again, before we go to Ace, I do want to say we have a poll right now for you guys to vote. We currently have Ravens number 1 with 68%, Browns number 2 with 15%. Tony, who do you think is third?
What? Bengals
with 9%.
Don't get love in this. I want to finish last in every. Listen, I want to finish last in all of them. I feed on the hate. I feed on the hate. I love it.
Okay.
Just saying, the team that was a meme for being 4th last year ended up going to the Super Bowl.
That is true. That is true.
Back to back.
Let's go with Ace here.
Uh-oh. I can't hear.
He said the Ravens are number 4.
Wait, Sonny, the audio's not coming through.
Yeah, the audio's not coming through.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Technical difficulties here. Let me see what happened.
the video quality was impeccable though. Ace.
Yeah. Listen,
Yes.
Ace's new camera it's
Well, got depth of field and everything in there. Okay, Mr. Boogie.
he's got that AK the Fox camera that they use,
Hold
the
on.
AK.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, you got
so-
the touchdown camera they got.
Yeah. There you go.
Tony, go you in number
The
4
A7S.
while I
Me number 4. All right, number 4. We're gonna put the Baltimore Ravens number 4. No, Bengals number 4 here. Bengals obviously they're gonna go through a little bit of change here. They're gonna lose CJ Uzama, but they add in Hayden Hurst. It's not a slight on Hurst. Obviously, you know this division knows Hayden Hurst. He was on Baltimore a couple years ago. In fact, it became a meme on this channel when they traded him. And everyone kind of scratching their head. What are the Ravens doing? He's back now in the AFC North. He'll be playing with Joe Burrow. It's interesting, you know, Hayden Hurst, obviously his numbers fell off last year. You know, they mostly fell off because they got this guy named Kyle Pitts over there in Atlanta. So that, you know, that kind of changed things a little bit. Only 200 yards for him last year. I'm not really going to read too much into that. Yeah, it's just I think that the rest of this division have their guy. I'm not sure Hayden Hurst is a guy for the long term in Cincinnati. I think he's a nice stopgap. I think that they're going to look to upgrade this position going forward. So I have the Bengals here at 4. I mean, as far as the depth of the position, you know, they still Drew Sample behind it. I think they still have, you know, the Thaddeus Moss memes can still be a thing. But obviously Hayden Hurst is going to be
on a roster.
What's that?
They still got him on a roster.
Oh yeah, Thaddeus Moss still a thing. Yeah, Thaddeus Moss still.
Yeah, that just solidified my decision.
So yeah, I think Bengals 4 here. Obviously Hayden Hurst is not a bad player, but like I said, the rest of the division have guys that they're all comfortable with. I'm not sure that the Bengals can say the same. So Bengals 4. You want to go Q and Q? Yeah, Q.
Yeah, Bengals. Oh no! Hold on, wait.
Wait.
Bring it back. Hold on. Are we ready? Are we ready?
We're doing it again.
Oh, Bengals 4.
Oh. Here we go.
I don't know. Sometimes I like trolling Bengal fans because they are funny to troll. I do admit, but this is not a troll. They are 4 right now, right? Hayden Hurst is your headliner. Hayden Hurst is somebody who fits more as a number 2. I think ultimately all 3 of the other tight end rooms have better headliners when it's all said and done, and I think they have better subliners when it comes to this. So yeah, they 4th. It's not a bad tight end situation. It's just not the best tight end situation. Every team has their holes and weaknesses. And let's be honest, when you have 3 wide receivers as good as the Bengals have, you can afford to just throw Hayden Hurst out there, right? Like it's not like they needed to have the best tight end room in the division because I doubt they feel like that's necessary or a good way to spend their resources. So Bengals 4. Felt good to say that. Bengal fans don't know how much else am I going to be able to say that. You know
see if I don't want to spoil the rest of my list, but I will not be saying that many more times. Let's put it that way.
I had to soak it in while it was there.
That's right.
I put on Twitter that this Bengals team might be the greatest team in NFL history to ever get swept by the Cleveland Browns. You know what I mean? Like, I think highly of this Bengals team.
Yeah, shout out Ace for letting us do this so early. It's good to get it out of our system.
Oh yeah,
I already feel
this was the show that Ace missed. Not really, not really, but you know, it would have been nice if he were here for this Bengal 4. You know what I mean?
I'm sad I missed running back because I really wanted to go in on the. I mean, I guess I did in the video. I went in on the Steelers in the video, but I don't love the Steeler running back room. And Sonny, at this point, I am just killing for time. And so
no.
Okay, you're good. Okay.
I'll go, and then I still trying to feed this audio, but in the meantime, I had 2 super chats, and let me go with Noah's still here. I'm for Q here. Gronk was the only help Tom Brady had. He carried others.
Sounds like Gronk carried Tom Brady. Hashtag
you didn't have Randy Moss? Tom Brady never had Randy Moss. I guess we're just gonna.
Well, he couldn't win with Randy Moss. Think about this. Tom Brady had the best years of Randy Moss's career statistically and could not win with him. What a quarterback!
Danny Amendola. Yeah. Danny Amendola, by the way, who Patriots fans want you to believe
Julian Edelman in the Hall of Fame, right? Ain't that what they be trying to do?
Edelman in the Hall of Fame?
Get out of here. Tom Brady's never had help. He's only had the greatest coach of all time.
Is Edelman? Hold on. Is Edelman in your eyes? Q is Edelman a Hall of Famer?
No.
Yeah.
No, he's not. But he's a good player. Like he's a good second option when Gronk's there.
Sorry, do
right.
you guys
All
heard
I'm
that?
saying is Tom
Nope.
Brady was so good. Why he lose to Eli Manning when he had Randy Moss? Like that didn't make any sense to me. I thought he was killer Tom. Tom only be doing that against the scrubs. He couldn't do nothing against Eli Manning when he had the greatest wide receiver of all time. Shout out Tom Brady for choking that Super Bowl. Nobody ever gives him credit for choking it, but he choked it. Tom Brady, fraud. Carried. Gronk never shows up in New England. He's not Tom Brady. He's that dude who played with Peyton Manning. I said it.
We are getting some weird super chats.
Said it. It's the summertime. We need to get
Tom Brady is a system quarterback, by the way. Tom Brady's system quarterback, by the way.
System quarterback. I mean, he had to go to a better system to win another chip where he was surrounded by talent in Tampa Bay.
Right.
He didn't want to talk about that, right? The most talent he's ever been around. And finally, he was able to win with some talent because when he had a lot of talent in New England, he could never win. Nobody.
What was the when Tom Brady went down? When Tom Brady went down with injury, what was the Patriots record that year? The year
11-5.
10-6 with Matt Castle.
With Matt
never
Castle.
was good again. System.
Huh.
Yeah, he had the greatest coach of all time. He pushing his button.
Interesting.
Rex Fortune here says
Bill Belichick was out there playing Madden with Tom Brady. That's all that was going on.
Rex Fortune here says Andrew is the guy who thinks buffalo wings are too hot, and Joku is the only person Popeye's employees are nice to.
Rex, man, you coming out here with these wild analogies. You know
His analogy game is, I don't know if it's on point because I don't get a lot of them, but
I don't know what he was referring to or how he got there, but you certainly put that up there. You know what I mean? And you did that.
So we have another one here. Lana Rhodes equals best tight end in sports.
Okay,
yeah, that's the reference that's the reference you think it is, Sonny. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe I was missing something, but
that
okay.
is not somebody related to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Lana Rhodes is not a football player. No, she is.
Shout out to you, Avery. Thank you for the donation. Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, Tom Brady. I hate this TV thing. Tom Brady took the lead in both, and the defense blew it.
He's supposed to be great enough to have a big enough lead to where the defense can't break it. I thought he was the greatest of all time.
Yeah, Captain Comeback. I mean, what are we doing?
What are we talking about? You get the ball in his hands. How he get out clutched by Eli interception Manning?
By the way, you want to talk about choking? The whole Tom Brady experience starts on a choke because, by the way, he fumbled against the Raiders and never should have won their first Super Bowl. He choked that one away first.
Gave it to him. A bad call, which they have rescinded the rule for. So in my book, that never happened. You know what I mean? And we're not going. Don't even lie to me. Them first couple of rings were definitely carry jobs. All right, Tom Brady was not Tom Brady until like 2005 when he became Tom Brady. All right, but them first couple rings, carried. Okay, so really Tom Brady only has one championship that he could call his own, and that's the one where he beat the sorry Falcons because the Falcons do nothing better than choke, okay, because they the goddamn Falcons, and that's all they do. Okay, so if he never played the Falcons, he would have no rings. That's my math. You can't get mad at it.
Okay, AJ Green with a big 30.
How about
that? Go with it. I had to look at. Shout out
Appreciate
to you.
that. Appreciate that, especially right after we ranked the Bengals 4.
Yeah.
Really
so by the way,
that's a Bengal fan I could get along with. You know what I mean? Exactly. He withstood the trolling. You know what I mean? Shout out.
And the super chat were goaded behind it. I love it. So, feeling the love. Like I said, I'm pacifist this year.
So I'm ranking the Bengals 4th. Let me start with me. I'm ranking the Bengals 4th. I love Hayden Hurst. I'm actually thinking Hayden Hurst will have better numbers than Uzama had last year. But two things. It's just only so many balls the Bengals have to throw around. Hayden Hurst is a decent blocker, not a great blocker. And Sample is their more inline blocker of the tight ends. I think their room is decent, right? Those two guys, I think they're good tight ends. I like Hayden Hurst. The thing with Hayden Hurst, he's explosive. Like in the open field, he has a second gear as a tight end. I like that a lot from him. He was very different as a tight end that Mark Andrews was. But I had to rank him 4th. And as I cannot still push the audio here, Ace has the Bengals 4th as well.
Really?
He has the Bengals 4th, so unanimous 4th for the Bengals.
I did not expect that. I did not expect that.
4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. You know what I
knows
mean? This is vintage AFC North talk. You know,
I
this
know,
is
right?
a retro.
What were the rankings last year? It must have been.
Oh, there was no way the Bengals weren't 4th last year.
It was Bengals 4, Steelers 3, because it's still at Ebron last year.
Yeah, you did 2017 Ebron or whatever.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
20. Well, we were roller coaster riding Ebron.
You had the Browns at 2.
Browns at 2 because of their depth, right? Because they had Hooper and Njoku. I wonder
Yeah,
where
they
I
turned
put this
out to
because I
be-
didn't like Frymouth, but I didn't like Frymouth after the draft.
Yeah,
so I
yeah,
wonder.
you were high.
I probably put them 3.
The move changed things for Pittsburgh. I will say that the move.
Yeah.
Changed things.
I'm coming around. Let's put it that
Hey,
way.
I told Tony.
I know. Yeah, Sonny, you were on it the whole way.
Codex here says, Quincy, will you ever have snacks with Keith Lee?
Of course. The thing is like, am I going to share snacks with Keith Lee? Have you seen that man in person? Tony, you've seen him in person.
I have seen him in person.
And there's a lot of big people. What do you say?
He's not small. He's not a small human.
We were sitting there and we've seen a lot of big people. And Keith Lee came out that wrestling ring and we was like, Keith Lee big as shit. We saw the Big Show walk out for the pre-show and we saw Keith Lee come out. We was like, man, we ain't say nothing when Big Show came out. When Keith Lee came out, we was like, that man big as hell.
Yeah.
Play tackle. There's a lot of meat right there on Keith Lee.
Sonny, do you want to just read off his? I guess we're just gonna read off Aces as we go since we can't get the audio working.
So the problem is Ace put it as a MOV, right? So I cannot play it on the browser, and because I cannot play on the browser, I cannot feed it. But I'm converting as we speak, so we can.
Well, why don't we do this? We can just read them out here, and then maybe we can upload the video as a separate video on the channel, so people, if Bengals fans want to see his rankings and his thoughts on everything. I don't want to, obviously he did time to make the video. Maybe we could just put it up as its own video, and then people can watch it after the fact. Because you're by the way, the fact that you're processing the video, you're lagging a little bit now. Just an FYI.
Yeah. Well, do this. Go with 3 for you and Q, and let me finish.
Okay. All right. Number 3 for me was this is where the list gets a little more difficult. Obviously, 4 and 1 were they're very easy. 2 and 3 is where it gets a little tricky. There's 2 players
Hold on
here.
now. One's not easy. I'm just playing with Raven.
I agree. Travis Kelce's number 1.
Well, I mean, who's the backup? Who's behind?
They drafted 9,000 tight ends in the draft that I'm sure Sonny's going to tell us all about.
And there's still gonna be Pat Ricard out there running hitches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although, I mean, in fairness, who's the Chiefs backup? I don't even know. What's his? Well, actually, I do know his name.
It doesn't matter.
No, but he is a guy. All right. Anyway,
is he good? They have the Chiefs have another tight end on the roster.
Yeah, it's another guy. I want to say it's Bell or something like that.
I'll look him up while you go.
And I want to say it's Bell. Blake Bell. Am I? Chat, tell me if I'm wrong. All right, number 3 versus number 2.
When you look out there and see not 87, you go, whew. Like on third down. You go.
Hey guys. Hey, I have a breaking news. Ravens and 3-time Pro Bowler Jason Pierre-Paul agreed to a 2-year deal. And
JPP?
JPP. Yes, a breaking news. And the shout out to Raven, by the way. He sent me the information. Shout out to my guy in Raven. Thank you, man.
What did James Pierre-Paul pay for last year?
Oh, wait. No. Wait. You see, this is the problem with you sending me shit live. He sent it to me and then he said, that's a fake. So, my bad.
All right. I was going to say.
Somebody got him.
I was going to say, that's a weird signing right now, but.
No, but he is on a visit right now in Baltimore.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's not signing.
Yeah, of course. So anyway, still shout out to Raven because he also wrote it's a fake. Because I'm live, I'm just trying to process.
Gotcha.
My bad. That was my bad.
You're good.
Go ahead, keep going.
So number 3, number 2. Obviously, there's one player who I didn't like a lot when he first got drafted, and there's another player who I've loved since the moment he got drafted, and I've been on his side. In fact, I love that I have this all in podcast form because I can go back and show you my love for who I'm going to unfortunately put number 3 here, and that's David Njoku and the Cleveland Browns.
Ooh, I thought that was your boy.
He is my boy, and it hurt me to do this, especially with a guy like Frymouth. But who again, I didn't love Frymouth coming out. Look, these two are really, really close. I think Njoku, what he did last year, and I think the reason why he got that money is he is super explosive. And this is something that you always saw on tape going back to his days at Miami, is how explosive he could be at the position. That game against, was it the Chargers? It was a Chargers game last year, right? Where he just kind of went off for like 150 or something. Huge plays in that one. Yeah, he's a very, very good tight end. Obviously, this room loses Austin Hooper. And then they have Harrison Bryant behind. Harrison Bryant's always been an interesting player. Again, another guy who, when he got drafted out of FAU, was intriguing because he's kind of a do-everything kind of tight end. Obviously, he's been third on that depth chart, I think, for a while now. So he's going to get a chance to go up to number 2. I'm not going to say any bad things about Njoku here. I like Njoku a lot. And I just, my reasons for putting Freiermuth and the Steelers above, I've kind of alluded to already on this show. We'll get to that when I get to number 2. But number 3 for me is the Cleveland Browns.
Q.
Number 3 for me, the Cleveland Browns. I think me and Tony are in the exact opposite position here, even though we have the same ranking. I am much higher on Pratt Freiermuth than I am on David Njoku. I like David Njoku. I don't know if David's ever going to elevate to be one of those guys in the conversation for the top 10 in the NFL, even though he is very explosive. It's just consistency has been an issue. He's slowed down on the drops. The drops have been virtually non-existent the last 2 years. But his consistency on route running from a day-to-day basis has been what I've been concerned about. He's been pretty good as a blocker, excellent as a blocker, quite frankly. But I like the potential and the upside of some of the other players left available more so than David Njoku, who at this point, what is he, like 26? He's starting to get up there. He's 26. He's starting to get up there in age. Crazy, right? Yeah. That's how fast life moves in the NFL. Behind him, I like Harrison Bryant a lot. I think he's going to shine more as a number 2. The Browns probably get docked here because they don't really have a set blocking tight end, which is going to come up with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Before we keep going, Nova Stone here. So JPP got to come back to Tampa after.
I love Nova Stone. I love Nova Stone.
Now that's the one thing Nova Stone's been right on. You visit Baltimore. You remember when John Gruden was like working Monday Night Football and he would go visit a college team and threaten, I might be going to this college team, and then he ended up getting like a new contract with ESPN that day. Mm-hmm. That's what teams do when they go to Baltimore. That's what players do when they go to Baltimore. Let me go to Baltimore, make my team sweat, and then get the contract I want for the team I actually want to play for. It's happened like 8 times this offseason. Baltimore fans, tell me I'm lying to you. Jarvis Landry, he's about to visit the castle. Oh, wait, he signed with the
but he didn't even visit. But
because he made it sound like he was going to visit the New Orleans.
Bobby Wagner was here and visited.
It's funny that it is funny though. Isn't it funny though that this has become a meme on this show? And it's true, right? I mean, they have all these guys who are going to visit. When I think the Ravens are one of the best teams in the league at signing like off, kind of off the street type free agents, right? I mean, very really rarely.
But they don't get the big name guys. Like they're really good at for like those medium level guys.
But they rarely miss. I mean, they're guys that they get are generally like they get the right guy for what they need.
But when it comes to like the guy that's big enough name to visit, they never get that guy. They never get him.
That's why we signed Williams without visiting.
It ends up working out better for them. Like it does.
Man.
Once people see that facility, once they go to Baltimore, like, oh my god, disgusting! I don't want to live there.
The thing I don't get about it, Baltimore facility is immaculate. Like, have you ever been there, Tony? I've been.
Hell no. You know, you want to hear a funny story? So my wife's family they live in like the Baltimore area, and they asked, they were going to take, when they were driving us back to the airport, they said, oh, do you want us to drive by the stadium? I said, absolutely not. I don't want to drive by that stadium. I don't want to go anywhere close.
They should have driven you by the stadium.
I went to M&T Bank Stadium and I went to the castle all in one weekend. And let me tell you something, M&T Bank Stadium ain't nothing to look at. But that castle, I was blown away. They gave me free Gatorade, free ices, and a $5 gift card to Dunkin' Donuts. And it was beautiful in there. I was like, wow, ain't no other team do it like that. But you know what I did after I visited the castle? I left just like everybody else. You know what I mean?
Wait, do they do training camp on their same practice facility, or is that a different spot?
Yeah. And you can get up close. We got Sonny was there with me. We got like right next to Hollywood Brown, and then like James Pro who was it? He was Kenneth, the running back from Louisiana Tech y'all had for a while.
Oh, Dixon.
Kenneth Dixon. Yeah, we were doing a video in front of the facility, and Kenneth Dixon just walked in the shop and was like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Kenneth." Yeah. Like me and Engraven were up there doing the video.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like the access, it's an amazing place to go. If you're a Raven fan or just a football fan in the area, I would recommend you go. But you go do what everybody else do at the end of the day, which is leave the castle to go where you actually want to go home.
And that year, that was Hollywood Brown's rookie year, and I remember I never liked the signing or the draft. There's a video out there of me just like, Basically, you're Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that the Kenny Pickett? Yeah.
And then I went to that practice, and dude, I thought I was bigger than Hollywood. I was like, how is this guy playing
Yeah,
receiver?
Hollywood was not
He's
big.
tiny. But anyway,
He was nice enough to sign homie's jersey though. That was cool. You know,
yeah, he was signing jersey. Yep. Okay, so for me, number 3, I have a little bit different perspective here because I have the Steelers third, and it's because I think by the end it will be flipped, but the production that Njoku has put up, and Farmouth hasn't there. I mean, he was a rookie, so I was expecting that. I agree with Q. And Njoku has been very inconsistent, but he usually has good games against the Ravens. Maybe that's also why.
That definitely plays into these rankings.
So he always has good games.
Two guys the Raven fans will never underestimate is Nick Chubb and David Njoku. They will talk about Myles Garrett though. Like,
yeah, Myles Garrett hasn't really killed us as much.
no, Myles ain't done nothing to y'all like he's done to
and
Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But
Nick Chubb, I have nightmares. Yeah.
Nick Chubb done got them all.
Yeah,
Got 'em all.
He got us too. But yeah, so Njoku, I think is inconsistent, but he's dynamic and he has at least some track record. I think Farm is going to be a beast of a tight end. No doubt in my mind. When I saw him last year in my tape, I thought he was. I kept saying here that he was the best tight end because I said also that Pitt was a wide receiver, right? I still think that Farmouth is going to be great. But right now, I have to put them third because after Farmouth, there's just people that you didn't know where they're going to do, right?
Oh,
They're decent.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You're hating.
Disrespectful.
Oh.
I know this year.
Just wait till we get to number 2.
Wow.
I know there's a Youngstown
I'm coming
legend.
at you with facts and logic.
Yeah, no, I know there's a Youngstown legend for Q there, but I mean, it's not like the Browns have a lot. I mean, Bryant is a guy that we talk about as he could do, but we haven't seen anything. So with both teams, I have to go say, okay, let me go their number 1 tight end. And I think Farmouth is a better player or will be a better player, but as of right now, Njoku has to prove it. I've been wrong with so many players in the past that this dude is gonna beast out and they don't pay out. I do think Farmouth will be. But for right now, I have to put the Browns third.
It's so I almost did the same thing with kind of Harrison Bryant, kind of putting the Browns over the top as far as my going from number 3 to number 2, because of the fact, like I talked about, the fact that Harrison Bryant's going to be elevated to number 2 tight end. He could be in for a much better season. And I look, as much as I'm going to talk about Kevin Rader and Zach Gentry, I don't think the Steelers have a second tight end as good as Harrison Bryant, but for me, it was Freiermuth over Njoku.
Okay, so keep going with number 2.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, number 2 for me is the Steelers. I'm not gonna put Freiermuth over Mark Andrews yet. But if Lamar plays the whole season, I mean, again, that's not a good thing for Mark Andrews. He needs himself some Tyler Huntley. Look, here's the thing about Freiermuth. I didn't like Freiermuth coming out. The reason, my big reason for Freiermuth not liking him is I questioned. In a league where we're moving so much towards these freak athletic players on defense, his athletic profile just didn't match up. And I worried about, his ability. Okay, if you're not going to be like a freak athlete at this tight end position, right? Like we're seeing with guys like, Kyle Pitts entering the league. If you're not going to be that, then you have to be more of a bully. You either have to be an elite route runner or you have to be a bully at the catch point. I think what Freiermuth proved to me is that, look, athleticism is not necessarily a big issue for him, although he's not exactly the most explosive player in the league. I mean, he only averaged like 8 yards per catch last year, maybe a little over 8 yards per catch last year. That was, I think, though, a symptom of the offense he was playing in and how limited they were, especially with Ben Roethlisberger and his wanting to use the middle of the field. And I think it hurt the kind of routes that Freiermuth ran. I think what's going to happen with Freiermuth this year is a couple things. Number one, remember last year, his numbers wise, he didn't really get going until the second half of the year because he was at the beginning of the year really splitting time with Eric Ebron. Now, Ebron got hurt mid-season last year. I think he got hurt about week 6. And so from that point forward, it was really the Pat Freiermuth show. That's when Freiermuth took over. Look, Freiermuth, from the point he took over, which was, I think, like week 6, week 7, that's where he got all his touchdowns. He had 6 of his 7 touchdowns came in week 7 through 17. He was a red zone monster. The thing he needs to improve on this year is that big playability. But when you're talking about either Trubisky or Kenny Pickett being your quarterback, what is a quarterback's best friend? A young quarterback or a kind of, the Mitch Trubisky type quarterback? it's the tight end, right? It's the easiest throw you can make. It's to your tight end. He's the biggest target out there. He's right in front of you because he's right in the middle of the field. I expect huge things out of Pat this year. I think it's going to be a breakout year for him, and that's why I put him in the Steelers number 2. Zach Gentry's a nice compliment behind. I think he's a little underrated. I mean, he's a really tall dude. He's got a huge catch frame. And then Kevin Rader behind him. I mean, a great blocker. The only question with Kevin Rader for me is with the whole Connor Hayward thing, and Connor Hayward being this kind of meme on the team of, he's on the team not because he's Cam Hayward's brother. It's a legitimate player. Like, I don't know.
Oh, he's gonna get some. I forgot about the brother. How many?
Yeah, right. If Connor,
because the Pittsburgh Steelers have never famously kept a brother on the team of a good player. Just cause. Yeah, I mean, like what TJ Watt didn't have a brother that was on the team, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well, and then Derek is actually not the one. See, Derek's not the one that I would actually point to because Derek's a decent.
Wait, don't they both play fullback?
No, TJ plays edge. Okay.
No, I know TJ plays edge. I'm talking about Connor Hayward and Derek Watt.
Don't they no. Connor is a tight end.
Oh, he's listed as both.
They gave Connor. Listen, you want to know how much they like Connor Hayward? They gave him Heath Miller's number. He wears 83. I mean,
ooh,
yeah. So either I'm way off on this because I don't even consider Connor Hayward like a player on the team. Like, and I know it's a great story because he's Cam Hayward's brother, and there's a lot of fun memes in the locker room happening with him.
He's a 6-foot tight end.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Yeah, come on.
I'm with you.
Come on, man.
I think Kevin Rader.
That's a running back.
Q. Listen, it was an obvious pick that they were going to make it in the 6th round, and I didn't care because it's a 6th round pick. Okay, whatever. You're going to make a late round selection of a brother
that's the same height as Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, exactly. The other one, Trey Edmonds has been around the team forever. Trey Edmonds is Terrell Edmonds' brother. He plays running back, also a decent special teamer. But yeah. I hope Rader makes the team because Rader's a great blocker. Kevin Rader is a legitimately great blocker. And for a team that wants to be kind of, far more run heavy this year, not just with Najee, but with a full complement, I think having a guy like Kevin Rader on the roster is going to be important. So I have the Steelers number 2 for Freiermuth, and obviously what Kevin Rader brings as a blocker.
There's absolutely no way Connor Hayward makes this team.
They gave
Heath Miller though. That's crazy.
They gave him Heath Miller's number, yeah.
I mean, does it matter if he's not going to wear it during the regular season?
Yeah, but still, I mean, you would think they would have given it to a guy like Freiermuth, right? Before.
Maybe he just wanted to wear 83 and they just didn't think.
I mean, it's not. Look, 83 has not never been given out. They gave it to a wide receiver back in the day, like right after. But that was a practice squad guy who got elevated. Numbers at some point.
Okay, so that's Q's point then.
Is Connor Hayward any different? Like 6 foot at tight end is crazy.
Yeah.
They see. Look, if you listen to Tomlin and the entire group, they sound super excited to have him. And they keep bringing up that we didn't just draft him because he's Cam Hayward's brother. So maybe I'm wrong on this, but I don't know. I think the fact that they've now got like 3 pairs of brothers on the team.
If I were Connor Hayward, I would.
It's hard for me not to just think, okay, you drafted him because of the name and not because of the talent. You know what I mean? It's just it may be lazy on my part, but that's where my head's at.
If I'm Connor Hayward, I'll try to switch to linebacker because you could make the team at linebacker. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're gonna make the team at tight end. That's a little bit rough. But yeah, number 2 for me, gonna be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have Pratt Freiermuth, who I'm high on. Zach Gentry, who is good enough, and then the Youngstown legend, the man who went head-to-head with Cooper Kupp in the 2015 semifinal, FCS semifinal in Eastern Washington, and came out victorious over Cooper Kupp, even though Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns and 180 yards. All right, came out victorious over Cooper Kupp.
Should have had more.
To win. My Penguins off of the back of literally the back of one of the greatest catches in college football history, in my mind. It's my Penguins while I was at the school to the national championship to lose to James Madison is Kevin Rader. So I got to give it a love. Man, they should build a statue for Kevin Rader at Youngstown State. He only had 600 total yards of receiving his career at tight end. It is a miracle he made it to the NFL, given that was his receiving numbers, but he has proven to be a great blocker. And I know Kevin Rader has it in him to come out in the clutch and give you one of them catches because he did it for the Penguins. So yeah, I'm ranking him higher than the Browns just because I'm biased and I went to the school that the third tight end went to at the same time that he did. And he also gave me one of the greatest sports moments in my life. So yeah, Kevin Rader gets them above the Cleveland Browns at 3 because the Browns don't have a third tight end right now. We just don't. There's nobody on the roster right now to be the third. Like Marco Santos.
Steelers have 4.
Huh?
Steelers have 4 tight ends.
Okay, they have 2. They have 3 and a possible linebacker. They got it. Like Connor Hayward better be firing special teams because it's the only way that they justify that, right? Like that's the only.
It could just be a practice squad stash for a year, and they see what he has.
What is he going to practice on? Getting taller?
What do you mean?
That's like
gonna simulate being
the Bengals at 4 because they out here trying to run Thaddeus Moss out there and tight end at 6 foot.
They're still. It's
like,
gonna one day though.
No, you can't do
pop.
that.
It's gonna pop.
He's gonna pop.
By the way, someone in chat is pointing out. I did forget the Steelers have 4 pairs of brothers, because they also have Carlos Davis and Khalil Davis. So 4 pairs of brothers on the team. Yeah.
So
Well,
they
that's
like
this, right? Because I don't think either of them players good enough to force their brother on the team.
Exactly. That one is just they must just like both guys.
Those brothers earned their spot on the team.
You're
not going to tell me Derek White and
nepotism
Connor Hayward on this team for anything other than nepotism.
You're not going to accuse the Davis brothers of nepotism. That is for sure.
We have a couple super chats here for all you guys. What's the best game you've seen your team play in history that you remember watching?
Yeah, I know. Well, does he mean in person or does he mean just ever watching?
Probably on TV.
Okay, on TV? Okay, well, I know Q's answer. It was the greatest wild card game ever watched, or the most watched wild card game.
It was the most wild card. It was the most watched wild card game, according to
never heard this one before.
And 50 million people on NBC at 8 o'clock when the Cleveland Browns stormed into Heinz Field and embarrassed Big Ben so badly that it forced him to play another year. You will not convince me any otherwise.
Good.
If that loss happened to the
it.
Titans, if that loss happened to the Raiders, if that loss happened to the Ravens or the Bengals, Big Ben would have retired after that game. But since it was Cleveland, he came back like Thanos and snapped the Cleveland Browns main core on the offensive side of the ball out of existence the next year. But for that one,
doesn't that ruin it for you though? Doesn't it the ending ruins it for you?
It doesn't. It really doesn't because good riddance, both of them.
It's like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, it's Star, and then by the end you're like, well.
Sometimes you got to reset, Tony. Sometimes you got to reset. You know what I mean? He snapped them out of existence. Boom, quick problem. At least we didn't get Baker Mayfield like a 10-year deal or something like that because of that game. All right, that would have erased it if we gave Baker Mayfield a 10-year deal because of that win, because that could have happened. Okay. But nonetheless, just tremendous 28-point lead, just blew them out, just beat them down dirty.
It was never close. Better. You were never worried in the second half. There was never a point in the second half.
I was worried the whole game.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's the Philly in Heinz Field. All right. Yeah. And what made it even better is that Pittsburgh came back and then punted. And then lost the game to a Nick Chubb screenplay. Like, you can't make that up, right? You can't. I can imagine Tony was so frustrated that they punted it, and then the next play, dump off screenplay to Nick Chubb, and he goes like 55. It just runs through everybody for a touchdown.
All my co-hosts have done live streams before for the games. This is why I don't, because because my reaction to that moment in particular is why I can't live stream these games.
By the way, I still watch that urinating tree stream. Thank you, Tree, for streaming yourself there in that game. That was, if you've never seen it, it is a 3-hour mental breakdown of a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in disbelief at what happened to him. And I choose to live in that moment. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that was
I talked about it at the time, though. Like, it really shouldn't have been disbelief because, that team was so bad going into that game. But
everybody was convinced that the Browns were going to stink in that game because they didn't have a coach. They the Browns. We beat the backups by 2. That was all I was hearing on Twitter. You beat the backups by 2. You needed the game. And then what happened,
mate?
And then what makes it worse? That was a Baker Mayfield signature game, Pittsburgh.
So for me,
worth it in the end. He quit the team.
For me, the most spectacular game that I watched is the Mahal Miracle game. Everybody has us for death, and Joe Flacco throws that bomb over there to Jacoby Jones. And we tied it to the mighty Denver.
We talk about how the Ravens really cheated in that game and forced Beyonce to turn the power off, and that's the only reason they won.
No, that's the Super Bowl. I'm talking about before that.
You're talking about the Denver game.
Yeah.
He's talking about the
Raheem Moore playing 10 yards upfield
Yeah.
When they need like 50 yards, I
Yeah.
can't stand Raheem Moore for. Then he came to Cleveland and gave us 2 god awful years at safety. I hate Raheem Moore as
He's
a
a
player.
coach
As a person,
now.
he's beautiful, but as a player, I can't stand that man. Every time I saw him, I knew coverage was about to be busted somewhere. Just because that one play, I can't believe that.
I
Why
love
were you
that.
pressing up on Jacoby Jones? Why was that happening? I
Well,
saw that.
He
I remember
wasn't pressing,
watching
but
it.
he took the wrong angle. For some reason, he took the in angle instead of going up. And
I
I don't know what he
remember
was doing. I
watching
don't know
that
what he
play
was
because it was like a 4th down or something crazy like that, right?
doing.
And I remember I saw number 12 in the corner that was playing him. It wasn't Raheem Moore. Raheem Moore was a deep safety.
Yeah.
The corner that was playing him was pressing him. And I was like, Jacoby Jones literally does one thing well. Why are you doing this? Like, just play off the ball. He does one thing well.
If you go watch that play, the corner starts pressing, and then the corner then shifts and plays the underneath, right? Knowing if Jacoby does a comeback or anything, then I have this. But
Jones
Raheem
ain't never
Moore has
ran a
to be.
deep route in his life.
I know, but
He runs nothing but 9s.
The corner played it well. If Raheem Moore would have been in the right spot,
Then
that play
Raheem
wouldn't
Moore
have gone
came to the
anywhere.
ball like a punt return. Like, I've never seen a defensive back try to field the ball like this.
Yeah.
Like, what?
He went in and he was like, "Oh my God, it's going over me." And then Jacoby Jones, which God bless him because he doesn't have the most trusted hands, catched it and went and scored a touchdown. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I still now and then I watch that game just because of that play.
I'm glad I was too young to be on YouTube hating because I know I would have been hating on Joe Flacco during that era. Like, I know I would have, and then he would have had that run, and it would have been hell for me. So I'm glad I was too young to be out here hating on that one because Joe Flacco fits the characteristics of who I would be out here hating on. Just a mediocre quarterback that all of a sudden had this great run. Oh man, oh Joe Flacco.
For me, it's 2 games in 08. You know, obviously this Super Bowl 43, the comeback there. Francisco falls down. Santonio's whole thing. That's how you be great. That is, honestly, I know that was a Super Bowl, so that should be number 1. But honestly, the AFC Championship game before, for me, was even better because that was the most physical game of football I have ever seen played. The hit on from Willis McGahee and Ryan Clark was, I mean, that like changed the game. And I don't mean that changed that in particular. I mean, like that hit was so hard that the NFL was like, "Yo, we have to do something." But then the whole ending of that game, the fact that the Steelers, they took an early lead. I've talked about the Lima Swede play before, right? Like, Lima Swede should have made that game an easy win. And then it's so close at the end. The Ravens have the ball in Heinz Field with a rookie quarterback ready to go to the Super Bowl, the first rookie quarterback that would have ever played in a Super Bowl. And it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this is going to happen. This great defense, and they're going to give this up late. And then, of course, the Troy Polamalu pick 6.
I hate that game.
It is. It is.
To be fair, I almost broke my computer. I remember that game because I was watching in Puerto Rico in my little 10-inch computer that I had on an illegal stream.
He was screeching over a netbook watching that game, man.
Yeah, I was. It's the computer I had, right? I didn't have
Mr.
money.
Incredible in a cubicle.
And I think it was Surf TV or something like that. It was one of those sites, and I'm watching the game, and then, my now wife was with me, and she's like, I was livid. I was cussing. I was hating life. I was about to destroy my computer. I mean, I was just not a happy camper. By the way, shout out to whoever, Professor K. No, it was Codex. You brought bad memories thanks to Tony here.
What?
Yeah, but the one thing I'll say is there was a couple of weeks ago where people were arguing about Ryan Clark because he was like, "Look, man, I wouldn't be afraid to get in the box with anybody when it comes to like Derrick Henry or something like that." And people were like, "You would be scared." And they had this one clip of Ryan Clark in Washington where he got beat by Carlos Hyde, but I'm like, y'all forgot Ryan Clark was that guy. Like when it came to it was him and Dante Whitner. Those were the last 2 of that era that would just get in that hole and knock you silly. Those were the last 2, the last dying guard of that era. People have forgotten.
The Ravens about that. The Ravens have Pollard. I don't know if you guys remember Pollard.
Oh yeah.
He
was dirty. He went for the knees.
Did he call himself the Raven Killer or something like that? Or the Patriot Killer?
Patriot Killer.
Yeah. You dirty
Tom
when
Brady
you accept the nickname.
Oh yeah, he took Tom Brady out. Yeah. Okay,
And
Professor Chaos.
it's not
here
like some
says-
James Harrison stuff where James Harrison denies his dirtiness, even though we know James was dirty. You know what I mean? He was out there dancing. He was the dude who did the dance on Hard Knocks where he did the splits. That was Bernard Pollard.
This is a silly question coming up, but go ahead and read it.
It's 2000. Who benefits more from a weak division, the Steelers or the Patriots?
For the Patriots, I would like you guys to answer this first
You
because
got
this
what,
is
2
actually a
Super
self-own.
Bowls?
If you say the Steelers, you're actually mocking your own team. So go ahead and make the argument.
No.
mean-
The question is, who benefited more from a weak division? The team that won 2 Super Bowls or the team that won 5?
6, but
No, 5, right? Oh, no. Tom Brady has 7. Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady has
Yeah.
7.
He has more than the whole Steelers organization.
Yeah,
I
that's
forgot
right.
about that.
Well, he has more than the Browns too. He has 7 more than the Browns, but let's not,
Well, I mean, we have NFL championships.
Okay, well, he probably has
They
more of
count.
them than
They
you guys
count.
do that. So.
Yeah, they count. You know what I mean? We got 11 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
you know what I mean?
I gotta go way
Most
back.
decorated, technically one of the most decorated teams in sports.
Yeah. Depends on how back you go. If you go further back in time,
I don't know what the trophies look like, but they there. You know what I mean?
Was there even a trophy? Who even knows if there was a trophy back then? It might have been a medal or something.
It was, you know what I mean? Jim Brown probably on it. You know what I mean?
Well, for me, Patriots easy, right? Patriots had 3 bad teams
Yeah.
for most of Tom Brady's career there.
I
The
mean,
Jets
the
had a couple of
Ravens-
teams being decent for a little bit there, but
The Ravens.
Yeah,
were
the
there
Ravens were
that
actually
entire
good at
era.
times. The
Not just
even
at times. That like
For
for
the
like
most
3
part.
years they were bad in the mid 2000s.
yeah.
Once like
the Ravens were good. The Bengals
yeah,
were
they
good
had
at
Kyle
times.
Bowler, and then they stunk for a little bit, but
Yeah.
then they came back with Joe Flacco in 08 and was fine for the rest of that era.
And even the Browns,
And
every
the
once in a
Bengals were
while, would
pretty
have
good.
like the Derek Anderson year or the
Okay, the Browns don't factor into this, but
no,
the
but saying,
Bengals
like
do.
they were like
The
randomly
Bengals do
competitive.
factor into this. No. I've lived through that era in the 2000s. We were never a threat to anyone.
Brian Hoyer year.
No, even then you knew we weren't a threat. You knew
Brian
that.
Hoyer year.
You were never. Then stop it. All right.
I wasn't afraid
but the
of Browns
Bengals
that year,
were.
but I'm saying,
The
like the
Bengals
Brian
were
Hoyer
good
year.
for most of that
That's what I'm
decade.
saying.
What is this comment? The Bengals and the Ravens had like really good eras during those times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
No,
the,
it's
didn't
the
other
Patriots
teams win the division?
by a mile.
Silent Wolf says, have you guys thought of after the stream splitting it into videos?
Clips. We used to do clips.
Yeah.
We used
Yeah.
to do clips.
Gotta hire
They
some
never really got
interns
any
to
traction,
do
so we
that.
stopped doing them. Supposedly,
guess-
clips do bring more people to your channel, but we never saw that early on.
Yeah.
so.
I think you gotta do like a whole different channel for clips, is what I see a lot of podcasts doing. I don't know. Maybe when one of y'all kids get old enough to like run the channel, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll give it to the
Yeah,
young
we could get an editor
whippersnapper
or
for some
something. I had a
allowance
guy
money.
actually reach out to be an editor, so
Yeah,
we'll talk
but-
about it. We'll talk about it off screen.
Codex, thank you again. Yes, I remember the hit. That was Pollard. He hammered Ridley, and Ridley just blackout. Anyway, let's go with number 1. Number
Boo!
1. Look at here. What,
The
Wait,
Kansas
what
City
were
Chiefs.
aces 3 and 2? We don't think we got aces 3 or 2. What were aces
No,
3 and 2?
No, let me pull that because I've been having issues with this thing. Okay, so aces 4 was.
It was the Bengals 4.
Mhm.
I don't know who he had 3 and 2 though. Professor Chaos said it wasn't. He's that super chat's coming. He said it wasn't a slight on the Steelers, but on the Patriots.
Steelers 3rd. He said it
Steelers
was
3rd.
close.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, I agree.
2 Browns
Close for me.
and Ravens 1. We'll upload this video separately, like Tony said.
Yeah.
And then we'll figure out how.
That's the point he was making, though, Tony, was that Tom Brady has had the most pampered, easiest path to Super Bowls that any great player in NFL history has ever had, and that you can make the argument that Ben Roethlisberger's 2 Super Bowls are more important than Tom Brady's 7.
I agree. They should
I
count
have a
triple.
question.
So they have
How
the
many,
equal number.
How many Super Bowl MVPs does Big Ben have?
Does he have any?
He
Is
has
he
the
the
greatest
step third
game-winning
in the NFL?
drive in Super Bowl history. That's all you need to know.
Wait,
But
does
they gave
he
it to
have-
San Antonio that game, which they should have.
Eli.
Wait, Tony. he
Elon
doesn't have
has
a Super
2,
Bowl
right?
MVP?
He does not have a Super Bowl MVP. No, he does not have a Super Bowl MVP. This is a silly.
Dude, does
Go ahead.
Joe Flacco have a
Oh,
Super Bowl
wow.
MVP?
Yeah. He
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. Which
Nick
they should have
Foles-
given to Jacoby Jones, but whatever. It's fine.
Nick
Eli
Foles got a Super
has
Bowl
2.
MVP? Is Ben Roethlisberger the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl?
He
We'll talk
Yeah,
about it
yeah,
on
yeah,
first
yeah.
take.
He actually, well, he has the greatest drive in Super Bowl history. So I think that closes the argument right there.
Oh man, no. was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Today on Get Up, is Big Ben the worst quarterback to ever win the Super Bowl 2 times? Let's talk.
The worst 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Who is the worst
what a list
2-time
to be
Super
on.
Bowl? That is some. We just gave ESPN an idea. They're gonna come up with
that's
that.
a week worth of content coming up. Get ready for that.
Because you would think Eli, right? Eli.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is when Eli Manning goes into the Hall of Fame. This is what they're gonna be talking about. Now, Eli Manning had a great career. They were like, is he the worst 2-time Super Bowl winner in NFL history?
But he has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. And there might be another
Big Ben
one.
got none.
Who I'm trying to think of who even the list is right now. Staubach, Bradshaw, Starr, and then all the latest ones.
Who are
right?
moderate? Because Tom Brady ruined it for everybody to get 2 times because you only really got 1 in that area. Who won 2?
So obviously, so Montana's on the list. Brady's on the list. Manning's on the list. I'm saying the modern ones. Yeah, the modern ones we can go through. I'm trying to think.
What about Drew Brees is 1?
Drew Brees only has 1. Yeah, only has 1. Drew Brees only ever went to 1.
Right? 1.
Who?
Drew Brees only went to 1 Super Bowl.
Yeah, he only went 1. Same thing with Rodgers so far. Only been to 1.
Yeah.
And who he beat?
He beat the Steelers.
If Mendenhall doesn't fumble, they win that game.
That
one actually shouldn't count. Much like
Brady
shouldn't count.
Argument. Big Ben is the worst quarterback to ever win.
Listen,
Super Bowls ever.
Ben should have 3 because if Mendenhall doesn't fumble, the Steelers win that game easily.
Why did Mendenhall fumble? Because of Big Ben's poor leadership. I said it.
Wait,
yeah, that's what it was.
Wait, Tony, you can argue. Didn't Sean Alexander fumble to make you guys to get that?
No. There was I'm not gonna give you the argument against Super Bowl 40 that always gets brought up, but Mike Holmgren's an idiot. I'll say that. Steelers fans don't know what I mean.
And do those Super Bowls count considering that you beat 2 NFC West teams?
There were 1 seeds. Hardest path to the Super Bowl in NFL history.
Who were their quarterbacks?
The Steelers went through the number 3 seed, the number 2 seed, and the number 1 seed on their
way. Of beating, what was it? Trent Dilfer? Was it? No, it was Matt Hasselbeck.
I like it. Okay, he's
Kurt
here.
Warner.
Look at Ace's. This is his ranking: 1 Mark Andrews, 2 Ravens, Browns, Steelers, Bengals. Okay. Well, let's go with number 1.
Everybody put Travis Kelce though.
So we've solidified this. Ben's the worst 2-time Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
think so.
It's tough.
Yeah,
Tony, this is your homework. Bring us the 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, a list of the winners, and then we can debate this. That's what we have to do.
I want to do that on this show. Yeah, I would love.
You know what a reporter be hating?
You have very good productive argument on this show.
You know when a reporter be hating and they announce something for a player, but they be having that hate in there. When Big Ben gets announced to the Hall of Fame, I promise you, somebody's gonna have it for Cleveland. Big Ben, who may be one of the worst 2-time Super Bowl champions in NFL history, gets into the Hall of Fame by narrow margin.
I'm trying to think if there was like a rando that won 2, and I don't. They're really like Jeff Hostetler won 1 and Phil Sims won the other.
Rob Durant, it might be one of the New York guys.
Rob Johnson won 1. Yeah.
Then Rob Jaws won 1 randomly in the 70s.
By the way, put Ace's comment on this one. This Travis Kelce. Yeah, the eviction notice courtesy of Turkey.
Come on, Ace. You leaned all into this in a way that I cannot get behind.
Yes.
I like that eviction notice. It's not he could if
he kicked them out of his house.
No, hold on. It's an eviction notice. Well, actually, I don't know how eviction notices work. Do you get a chance to make your payments, or are you just done? You're just done.
No, he got 30 days. This is what Ace is saying.
30 days to evict. What if he makes payments? I'm just saying, give Travis Kelce the season and let's see if he can put the numbers back up. And then
I actually like that.
Back up. He had 1,100 yards last year.
Well, he needs to listen.
1,300 for Andrews
on a bad team.
That's it? Just 1,300?
Those are Allen Robinson numbers.
In a 17-game season? Hold on. 1,300 in a 17-game season.
Travis Kelce had more in 16.
Yeah.
He did. But that's not.
I'm going back to
those are Antonio Gates numbers that Mark Andrews be putting up, right? You know, Mark Andrews be putting up that Antonio Gates numbers, which is great for that era. But Travis Kelce.
Okay, so here's a 2-time Super Bowl winner, Jim Plunkett.
Ooh, what team was he?
See, and I knew there was a guy like this. I was trying to think of
like a Dolphins guy.
No, it's a Raiders guy.
Oh,
70s Raiders.
It's one of those dynasties back when you can get carried at quarterback. Second worst Super Bowl winning, 2-time Super Bowl winner in NFL history. And he's also the quarterback of the worst 11-0 team in NFL history. I mean, Ben is just killing it with these accolades.
Ooh, that's right. Man, he has a couple of worst right there for Big Ben.
Who is the worst multiple time NFL MVP?
Well, Lamar hasn't won 2 yet, so it's not him.
Who's multiple? Yeah, that's
Brady, Rodgers, Manning.
That's crazy. That's crazy. This is an unhinged play under review. Is unhinged right now. That is.
This would be a hilarious argument to have. The worst multiple time NFL MVP. It's
I
gonna be like
couldn't-
Terrell Davis or
You
something
need
like
to
that.
submit this question to ESPN so you can get you a producer job or get up
Yeah.
because this is exactly what they're looking for. You know what I
That's a
mean?
quality one.
This is a quality one.
Yeah, I can't even
You
name
get on
it.
Undisputed. I bet you Skip Bayless got a 2-time MVP. He's been waiting
We
to
could go
say.
over this list right now because it's not long. The multiple time MVP winners are not long. It's Jim
Okay.
Brown, Johnny Unitas, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Kurt Warner, Peyton Manning, Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers,
Kurt
Tom
Warner.
Brady.
Kurt Warner's easily the worst. On that list?
Okay,
It's either
so
Kurt Warner or Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas is reclaimed as one of the best quarterbacks ever.
I think it's
Come
Kurt
on,
Warner.
that was back when you played quarterback like option football. That does not
Okay,
count.
but I mean, so
I'll just leave Johnny Unitas out this conversation because he doesn't even play the same brand of football that we play now. Kurt Warner.
Right.
Kurt Warner's got to be the one.
I have a question because I actually got into this debate with a coworker of mine, saying how I love Drew Brees. Actually, Drew Brees was one of my favorite quarterbacks, for the era. But Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, right? Both have one of the worst, not career, but underachieved careers, right? As a achievement per team, right? Like Drew Brees never went back to a Super Bowl. Never. I mean, Kurt Warner he won one, and he went to one or two more, right? And Aaron Rodgers right now, he won the one against the Steelers, and he has a sniff near.
Well,
a
he
Super
sniffed
Bowl.
him. He sniffed him.
He's all he does is sniff him. He doesn't actually go.
He
to
He
is-
sniffed
Yes.
him. The thing is, he coughs right after it chokes.
Yeah,
You
he's
know what I
right
mean?
before.
Does he go to the NFC
He done had
Championship?
sinuses
Yeah, every year
right
he
up
goes
to
to the
Super Bowl.
championship game.
No, he didn't go last year. He
Well,
didn't
okay,
go
but like the
the year
last 2
before.
years before that, he was there.
Yeah, remember the one play
Yeah,
where
they lost to the.
he didn't run
Yeah.
into the end zone. Instead, he threw like an interception. Like,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one where they
he's
kicked the
had-
field goal against the Bucks. That was in
Yeah,
it. That was the
they
chance.
keep
Scotty
blowing.
Miller had a touchdown right before. That was the one. Yeah, I think he's been to like 4
A-Rod
Hey,
sniffed it.
anyway,
A-Rod-
so-
and to be fair, Drew Brees did the same shit. Okay,
Yeah.
like in that era, Drew Brees he blew one to Case Keenum in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I'm
against the Vikings.
They have both. They're the same guy. They're the Spider-Man me.
Yeah.
It is
Great
a bit,
numbers,
though. It's
Hall
a
of
bit-
Famers.
with Drew Brees, he played too long. I saw people saying about Favre, but Favre and the Jets. Favre just played too long. Favre should have retired. Brees should have retired.
But even if
Aaron
let's
Rodgers
take the
played
last
just as
2
long.
years. But let's take Drew
Well,
Brees'
he was
last
an
2
MVP though,
years.
back to back, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
back-to-back.
let's take his last 2 years,
Not
right?
3.
He's still underachieved, right? You would think when you talk about Drew Brees as a generational talent quarterback, right? Like you talk about Drew Brees, if Tom Brady wasn't in the league, he would have been
We
one of
talk
the
about Rodgers as something else than Drew Brees, though. We talk about Drew Brees as like an overachieving guy because
Well,
he
but-
overachieved his frame
but
and his
Q-
physical abilities. We talk about
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers like he was Michael Jordan.
Okay,
for a while.
but both of them don't even have the excuse of Tom Brady because they could have made the Super Bowls, right? And then you can say, well, Tom Brady was basically like Michael Jordan. He didn't allow none of these guys to win it. But that's not true for neither of them. They were both in the NFC, and it wasn't like they were killing each other. And like one year, the one guy, neither of them were making it to the Super
They
Bowl.
were both
right?
choking. They were both
Yeah.
choking in that second round. That
So
second
don't-
round is the Achilles heel.
Yeah, so they
They like
both.
Cowboys.
I can argue we talk about
The
Big
worst
Ben
one is when
as-
Brees lost to Rex Grossman in that NFC
Ugh.
Championship game.
You
That's the
always
one.
forget
But that Bears
Rex
defense was
Grossman
good.
started the Super Bowl, and you
That's
wonder how
true.
that happened. And the answer is Aaron Rodgers.
And that was the Super Bowl, the Eli. I'm sorry, not Eli, the Peyton one, right?
Peyton was the one in
With
the
the
rain, yeah, in
Colts.
Miami.
By the way, while we're speaking of Hall of Fame cases, I heard somebody say this in a podcast, and I thought it's worth repeating. How crazy is it to think about Aaron Donald and how good he is, and just be like, yeah, Warren Sapp, Aaron Donald's definitely better than Warren Sapp.
Yeah, I mean Aaron Donald is an animal. He
Think
just-
about how
just-
good Warren Sapp is, and you're like, Aaron Donald's way better than Warren
yeah,
Sapp.
yeah.
It would be disrespectful to say he's not.
Okay,
That's crazy.
So here, Professor Chaos says, "Yeah, Andrews is great, but who's throwing the ball to him? The ball's funny. Well, you know who's throwing the ball.
Yeah,
Tyler Huntley.
Tyler Huntley.
No,
Because Lamar ain't showed up yet,
Because
right?
Lamar hasn't showed up to an OTA yet, right?
mandatory. Yeah, he's
When
going to
Lamar-
mandatory.
No. Voluntary. I don't know about voluntary. Mandatory.
No,
you know,
he's training.
obviously,
He's training in Florida.
contractually
Florida.
obligated to be there.
By himself or with his new teammates?
No, his new teammates are in OTAs.
I heard a
He's
lot
out
of
there.
Ravens are. Do all the Ravens hate their coaching staff? I heard a huge list of players. Who
Man, Willie Snead came out and dropped a bomb on Greg Roman. Oof.
he did.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one, but he
I
might.
could pull up the quote right now. I still got it.
He might
You
have.
want the quote?
In
want
the
the quote?
meantime, yeah, look for
Read
it.
the
In the
quote.
meantime,
Huh?
Tony,
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
go ahead. Number one.
Ravens next. All right, Q. Who's your number one? No, obviously it's the Ravens.
It's the
Mark
Chiefs.
Andrews here. Look, it's what's fun about this show is episodes like last year where we get into long, heated debates that go back and forth about certain players, about where Mark Andrews ranks in terms of the rest of the league, and specifically guys like Travis Kelce. And then he goes out there and Mark Andrews has an absolute monster season. He did it without, obviously he did it with Lamar. He was good with Lamar. He was good without Lamar, right? I mean, he just was good the entire way. Yeah, I mean, look, obviously I don't know much about the rest of their room because they seem to have rebuilt it through the draft, and I wasn't really watching tight ends this year for obvious reasons. But it doesn't matter. Let's say they had no one. Let's say that there was one player on their roster and it was just Mark Andrews. Well, they would still be number one on this list. That he was fantastic a season ago. And it looks like they're going to be asking him to do that, right? I mean, I think that, part of the calculation with Greg Roman in this passing game, when you talk about, the fact that they're losing Hollywood Brown and they don't seem to want to replace that is, well, Hollywood Brown was our number one guy. Even though he was thought of as a number one receiver, he never was the number one. The number one receiver on this team was and will be Mark Andrews. I think it speaks to his quality. He's one of the best in the league. I wouldn't put him above Kelce yet, but he's in the neighborhood. He's in the neighborhood.
Neighborhood. Hashtag neighborhood, guys. Just put hashtag neighborhood in the comment section.
By the way, I got into an argument with Bengal fans this week about T. Higgins.
Yeah.
And they were like, T. Higgins is the most disrespected 1,000-yard wide receiver. And then they have the nerve to talk shit about Marquise Brown in the next sentence. I'm like, that is the most disrespected 1,000.
Yeah, it was a top 30 thing, right? It was like, is T. Higgins top 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good. I mean, like being
There's
being
just a
top
lot
30,
of good guys is all my point.
There's a lot of good guys. So crazy.
Yeah, you can make the argument for like 30 guys. Like they're just really good. And T. Higgins is one of them. But nonetheless. Number one here, obviously, it's the Cleveland Browns. No, it's Mark Andrews.
It is.
It is Mark Andrews. He's the only reason Baltimore is getting number one. I'll be honest with you. Don't know anybody else in that room. Don't care. Mark Andrews, That's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. Not a Travis Kelce level problem. You know what I mean? But a problem nonetheless. If this were like the mid 2000s, he'd be the best tight end in the NFL. It's just a different era right now. But yeah, he's really good. He is really, really good. Excellent. Don't know if he's Hall of Fame, but pretty good right now. You got to drop a couple more seasons like that to do it. But yeah, not Travis Kelce. Mark Andrews, really good tight end. We'll see what he does this year. But the spotlight's going to be on him because he's going to be the only one to be able to get the ball because the Baltimore Ravens still have no wide receivers.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely none. They got nothing. Not a single wide receiver.
Yes.
So Mark Andrews, by the way, here's one point where I would say take Mark Andrews over Travis Kelce. If you are in a fantasy draft, Mark Andrews number one on that board because where else they going to throw that damn ball?
I mean, but think about KC also lost Hill, right?
Yeah, but they got Juju.
They have other people.
Juju.
They got Juju, Miko, all that. Like the Baltimore Ravens.
Martez Valdez-Scantling.
Look, the Baltimore Ravens about to be looking like the Temptations because they only have Mark Andrews and the Pips out there. Like it is nobody else. It is Mark Andrews and a bunch of dudes out there. So Mark Andrews is about to get every reception. Draft Mark Andrews high in your fantasy draft because either he or Lamar Jackson is gonna go off. Like that I would draft both of them, to be honest.
By the way, this year we need to do again the Survivor League. That was fun. We got all co-hosts got eliminated fairly quickly.
I was there for.
I think I got eliminated in week.
I think Q was the last of the four of us.
Yeah.
No, it was. I think me and Ace both got done in by the Bengals, right? Because they lost to the Jets.
That's how. Okay.
Damn Bengals.
You see, if you would have listened to Pumpkin Watch, you would have.
Damn Bengals. Just dude, can't stand the Bengals. Why y'all?
Shout out to
Angling.
Manscaped because they sponsor that gift, and
That's
I forgot
right.
who won, but yeah. Daniel here with the 5 pounds, British pounds. Look at that, staying late. Hey guys, love you. Love the show. My question is for Q. If Baker shut it down after the Texans game, will you still be saying you wouldn't trade for Deshaun?
I think the
love this.
truth is that here's what I said earlier on Twitter. The reality is that 2021 didn't change the Browns front office opinion on Baker Mayfield as much as it brought the public's opinion on Baker Mayfield closer to what the front office was. Because remember in 2020 when there were rumors about Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson, like there were rumors this year about the Browns going after Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. Turns out there was smoke to that fire. They never really thought that Baker was going to be their answer, and they were always looking for an upgrade. So I think even if Baker shuts it down, they are going to make that move for Deshaun Watson. The question is, do they get a first-round pick back because Baker shut it down? Right? That is the question, because if Baker shuts it down, he looks like a more valuable trade asset because he doesn't put up 12 games of some of the worst damn tape. Well, not 12, 14 games of some of the worst tape you've seen, right? Like, and then releases a letter on top of it, right? Like if he amicably shuts it down after week 2, do you think you get more for Baker Mayfield? That's the question. But I think moving on from Baker Mayfield, that was a bit more inevitable than I thought it was last year. Most certainly. I thought this was going to be long-term last year, but I think it ultimately, hindsight being 2020, that was inevitable.
The part that keeps getting skipped over, I saw you Q on Twitter responding to people who had the same question. The part that gets skipped over in that, right, is like if Baker shuts it down. Okay, Baker did end up shutting it down, but I think Baker shutting it down the way he did was part of the problem, right? Which is when he
no. That's the thing with Baker Mayfield. I said this. The wild card is Baker Mayfield, right? Because if you this is why I said amicably. I don't think that
you did. Yeah, when you used the word amicably, okay, that's the key.
That's why I said amicably. Realistically, if they would have forced him to shut down, he would have threw a temper tantrum and it would have been a big mess. So it wouldn't have really changed anything. The cards were set in stone after that 2020 season that this was probably going to happen. I don't think there was much that you could do to change this. Maybe if Baker doesn't get injured and he wins the Super Bowl, that's about the only thing I could have saw changing this, because I think they were pretty set on upgrading.
Okay. Now, so obviously Ace had the Ravens, and I'll go with the Ravens as well. Mark Andrews, people talk about Mark Andrews enough, right? Nick Boyle coming back. Nick Boyle is an excellent inline blocking tight end. In that 2019, Nick Boyle was used a lot. They move him, they put him in fullback, they put it inline, they move him a lot. Now he's not a deep threat.
2019 Nick Boyle.
Hey, it's coming back, baby.
You're popping open the vintage Nick Boyle. I see.
No, Boyle was hurt last year, right? He was one of those guys that,
Yeah, he was.
Oh, yeah. What is that injury
couple.
return list looking like for Baltimore? Because it's going to be like that this year where I'm like,
it's a Pro Bowl roster.
It's a Pro Bowl roster.
Ronnie Stanley been out for like 2 years, right?
Yeah, so with Ronnie, we'll talk about him in the
Rodney Stanley coming back like Klay Thompson coming back. You know what I mean? Like
so then the Ravens also had a guy named Josh Oliver. They traded for him last year. Yeah, early last year, 7th round to Jaguars. He was decent. He's a decent receiving tight end. And he's your tight end 5 because the Ravens drafted 2 guys. Charlie Kolar. I'm not the huge fan of Charlie Kolar. He's a guy that, for our accounts, is a smart guy, knows how to find a soft place in the defense. Okay, cool. But the guy that I was more excited about was the next guy. I say is Likely. Says Likely is, I'm not calling him Jimmy Graham, but that's the style of tight end that he plays, right? He is a guy that it can stretch the field as a tight end, not speed, but as a tight end, he can create mismatch with the middle linebackers and safeties. That's what Likely can do. Not saying that he will be Jimmy Graham, by the way, but that's the style. As I was saying earlier,
he's going to be Jimmy Graham.
No, as I was saying earlier, the
Mandrews, Kelce and Jimmy Graham
plays like Kelce, and Kittle plays like Gronk. That's his style. We'll see, but right now they're deep in tight end. I mean, Q was talking that they don't have a tight end 3 for Cleveland. The Ravens have 6 tight ends. One is going to be cut, which is John, or however you pronounce his last name. And then from the other 5, one of them is going to get cut, in my opinion. Then you're going to keep 4 tight ends, unless Ravens like to have. I know this is not legal, so I'm not saying that this is intentional, but somebody usually tweak something, and if they don't think they were like the 5th guy, that's the guy that gets IR. No, I'm not predicting one of them is going to get
it's the Ravens.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I was gonna say you're not wrong to do that, but
somebody gonna get injured. That's why they got so many damn tight ends, because somebody gonna get hurt, right? They learned their lesson from last year.
The one thing I would say for the Ravens is last year we got hurt on corner, and they went and drafted 2 corners, signed another corner, right? They went deep, and then they drafted the safety and got another safety, right? They
have you seen the new helmets that they have to wear during OTAs? These weird,
yeah, they look stupid.
Yeah, they need them for kneecaps in the Ravens. That's what they need for the Ravens.
Are you talking about the bean bags, like the
Guardian
11 things?
Looking helmet.
The first time I saw.
By the way, Tony, saw Ravens legend in the USFL this weekend. You know who? Take a guess. Ravens legend.
Kyle Bowler.
It's your boy, Tony. Shut down corner.
Bond. Baby, Bond? Terrell Bond?
Yeah. Terrell Bonds was out there on that USFL.
Was he getting torched again?
Nah, he was man-to-man God. He looked like Darrell Revis out there.
See? Bad coaching out there in Baltimore. They don't know how to teach up. They don't know how to teach up corners.
Level of competition. You know, it was just that. Terrell Bonds wearing number 2. That's how you know he the real deal. You know, he the vet on that team. They got him a single-digit number. I don't know what he was wearing in Baltimore, but it was a number they had around. What, 25 or whatever?
Yeah,
something
like that.
Terrell Bonds, Baltimore Raven legend, out there in the USFL, which makes me worry about anybody's chances of making the NFL in the USFL. If Scooby Wright and Terrell Bonds are out there eating them at that level.
Q, who has more toxic fan base, Boston or Golden State?
Oh, Boston sucks. Golden State fans are just annoying, but
they're
Boston
for weather.
Huh?
All Golden State fans are basically new, right? They just like as soon as Steph retires,
I can deal with that. They just go in and out, and they just say dumb shit. And Boston fans are annoying. They got that accent, first of all, that I'm not saying. Like, and they just are relentless. It's like little chippy birds. Yeah, Boston. And then they do that Steelers stuff, which I can't stand. We got like 18 rings. We're championship city. We got the GOAT Tom Brady. It's like Nova Stone times 12. Imagine if Nova Stone was like this for 3 other teams. That's how Boston fans are. You think Nova Stones are like this? He likes one dude not even from Boston, that played in Boston. Them Boston people, they are annoying. You ever hear one of them talk about Larry Bird? It'd be a dude my age talk about Larry Bird. Like, what you know about Larry Bird, man? He was born in 95. Like, talk about the damn Larry Bird. I can't stand Boston.
I'm pulling for
Boston. About that
though.
big 3 in 2008, like it was one of the God's gifts to them. They won one championship. I hate Boston sports fans. I'm sorry. I went through the rivalry with Golden State, and I'm still like, I want Boston sports fans to be miserable. I want them to lose game 6 at their place, and I don't care if it's Golden State that does it, because at least we beat Golden State. But them damn Boston Celtics fans, I can't stand Boston sports fans. Never will. No love in my heart for them. I cheer against the Patriots because of them. I cheer against Boston because of them, and I cheer against the Bruins. I don't even watch hockey, but if I hear the Bruins lose,
I thought you were gonna say Red Sox.
Yeah. Oh, I hate the Red Sox. I hated it when they won that World Series. They didn't shut up about it. They made a song called Tessie that was an MVP baseball 2005 nonstop. I hate Boston. I hate anything to do with Boston. I'm not a Boston fan. If you from Boston, don't let me know about that, because I just don't like it.
We found another button for Q.
Yeah, let Allen Robinson go to Boston. You know what I mean? Like, let him go to Boston. But put Cliff Kingsbury in Boston. Boston is the garbage trash pan that I don't want nothing to do with. I hate Boston. Sorry if you from Boston, but I hate every single one of y'all. No disrespect intended, but I don't like y'all.
We have 200 people watching right now. Only 82 likes. Can we get that number a little higher? Let's at least get it over 100. I mean, can we at least get half of you to like the video? Appreciate
Tony, I was watching Winning Time, and I was like, you know what, man? F Boston too. You know what I mean? Like I was all in. I don't know why I don't like well, I do, because Boston beat the Indians in like 2007 when I was still cheering for them. They beat the Cavs that same year or the year after, and then the Patriots. Just hate them. You know what I mean? Just absolutely hate them. Can't
So
stand
look at this. That Moss better than Travis Kelce.
You know, and here's the thing about
Better
Bengals
at
fans.
what?
Bengals fans, I need to tell you something. You're not allowed to troll like this, because here's the problem. You might actually believe that.
Yeah, we don't know what
I've heard a lot of takes from the Bengals over the last year that I don't know what's trolling and what's reality anymore. So
I don't know what they put in the water at the Ohio River, but I'm confident it got lead in it.
And see, here's the thing. He says that. I don't know if he's being trolling or not. Probably trolling. But let's say he was being real.
No, there's a part of Bengals fans that believe Thad Moss is actually going to have a breakout year, and that brother is 6'1".
The more we fight against it, the more true it becomes. You know,
that's what happened last year.
That's what happened last year. Yeah. The more ammunition you say, like, here are the reasons why you're wrong.
Ace,
the
let's
more
be honest,
true.
Ace batting record last year was over 500.
1,000. It was somehow over 1,000, which it's statistically impossible. But
and then people said this stuff is just so I could get mad at it. There's somebody out there keeping up with Allen Robinson's doings just to let me know when he has a good game on Twitter.
Do you guys play the Rams this year?
Who?
No,
you guys
no one plays the Rams this year.
No, okay.
No one plays the Rams.
Unless
somebody gets to the Super Bowl, but
Steelers will play the Rams in February. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
If Watson is suspended the whole season and the Browns have preset all of 2022, will Cleveland QB room still be third? Will anyone have them below Pittsburgh? We don't know what Pittsburgh's QB room is.
I do. I know
would
what it
have
is.
them at
Mitchell, Matt. Yeah, I would have the Steelers third.
I would have the Browns at 3.
And they might have Baker playing. We know if he's
I would. Okay, then I'll put them. If that's true, I'll put the Baker. I would have the Steelers. I would have the Browns at 5 if they had Baker playing.
Baker does not play.
Professor Chaos here says, Q.
See, this is one of those.
You see the great kick by Kate York?
This man did not ask me a question about a kick in OTA.
I love you, Professor Chaos.
Hey, I heard Cade York was like 4 of 5 one day during practice. That's got to be worse.
Yeah, he's booming them, I guess.
Well, but hold on, 4 out of 5. That's not good.
The one thing I've been seeing for OTAs from the Browns, and Q, this is not trolling, but I see a lot of interceptions by John Johnson.
Yeah, he had 2 in 3 weeks, and then people retweeted it. And this is the most, like, everybody's like, oh my God, Deshaun's. I'm like, bro, he threw an interception.
It's off the field stuff getting on his head. Yeah, it's in his head. John Johnson's not even good. We'll talk about that later.
I'm like, dog, he threw an interception at OTAs. Yo, he's going to throw one in a game. Like, eventually, I would think, if he plays.
I think it's the whole maybe the Baker spirit.
Maybe it's Baker breathing down his neck, right? Yeah, it's pressure.
Yeah. That's just it's Stefanski's offense. You can't help it.
It's too complicated.
Yeah,
it's too complicated. He needs to go play for Baltimore, where he will run through 2 route combinations. By the way, speaking of Baltimore, let's read that quote from your boy, Big Willis Snead, the best wide receiver the Ravens have had in quite a while. Snead was asked for several. Well, it was about the Steve Smith ran on NFL Network. I imagine he was speaking for several Raven wide receivers in route concepts or the lack of with Greg Roman. Snead said in response, "Yeah, it's tough. We're comparing Greg Roman to a Sean Payton offense or Greg Roman." This is the insult to a John Gruden offense. It's like night and day. There's a lot more creativity in the passing game. If the Ravens had more creativity in the passing game, they would put more emphasis on it during the season. I think the receivers would be more open to coming. Lamar's a great player. Everybody likes to play with him. He's fun. He brings energy every single day. He's the kind of guy you would want to play for, but the system pushes us away. That's why the Ravens stay drafted 2 wide receivers every year. They keep them young. They keep them locked into contracts. But older, veteran guys coming in, that might get one shot at doing this. They don't want to go to the Ravens because they know that unless they're going to get a 50-50 ball or they're a big body receiver, they're not going to get the ball.
And Snead had a better season with us than he did with the Raiders.
Because he was a big body guy. He got no 50-50 balls. You know what I mean? Like,
I love Willie Snead now. Who knew? I'm big Willie Snead guy all of a sudden.
Speaking
big Willie Snead guy.
Daniel here says, but Q, would you still want it Watson?
I never pushed for Watson in the first place. Y'all know this on this show. That was not the guy I was pushing for.
Yep.
That's true. Okay, so guys, we'll come back next week. Receivers or O-line. That's the 2 we have left before we're going to take a break. and then do the defense. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. And also, if you want to give us a super thanks, we'll always check for super thanks. And also, thank you for the Patreon subscribers. We appreciate you and the extra support. Tony, you want to say something else?
I just want to give our rankings here as a show. So the 4-3-2-1 here is Bengals 4. And I think this is right. It's Bengals 4. It's the Steelers and Browns tied for second. And then the Ravens.
No. Because
you and Ace both had it Browns Steelers. Me and Q both had it Steelers Browns. Yeah. I double checked the math on this one. So it's Ravens first, then Steelers Browns tied for second, and the
and with 406 votes, we got the Ravens 64%, Browns 17, Steelers 11%, and Bengals 9. So the Steelers eclipsed the Bengals.
We did it. We're better than the Bengals in something. I like it.
By the way, I hope that the Boston Celtics blow a 3-1 lead.
and with that note, we let y'all go. Thank you for